It was one of those awkward holiday moments. It was the first Christmas after the death of my brother, and my mother had just given my wife Vicki and I our own box of latex gloves she had purchased from her dentist. Because we worked as paramedics in San Francisco, and since my brother JD's death, she had come to realize that we were exposed to a lot of potential dangers. People with diseases, with AIDS. We thanked Mom, assuring her that the city gave us gloves and other safety equipment. But on the ride home, it got me thinking that maybe we hadn't done as good a job as I had thought protecting my family from some of the darker realities of the job. About all the times I had to call Mom from some hospital ED to assure I had been in an ambulance accident or a street altercation, but that I was fine. Maybe moving a mite slow for the next day or week, and that I may or may not have a new scar. But to myself, I always took pride in how no matter what, I had always powered through and did what needed to be done to take care of my patient or my partner or my team, that I was still one of us, the responders, the good guys. Not one of them, a patient, or worse, a victim. Nothing new really. I was just a paramedic with control issues. But yet on that long drive home, as I thought about the gloves, it started me thinking about something that had happened a decade earlier when Vicki and I had been on an ambulance in another city and were responding through a horrendous downpour, code 3, for a pedestrian struck by a car. How a drunk driver had gone around, stopped traffic at an intersection to beat a yellow light and hit us. How I had done a face plant in the dash, resulting in a lac through my left eyebrow that ultimately took 28 stitches. How I could hardly see for blood pouring down my face. But I was still a paramedic, not a patient, and things had to be done. Like notifying dispatch that we were out of service and to send another unit for the pedestrian, that both of us were injured and we needed law enforcement and an ambulance, like I had to check the occupants of the other car to see if there were any additional patients. Vicki, also on medic mode and ignoring her own injuries, had the same idea. After I forced open the ambulance door, I experienced a near blinding pain like nothing I had experienced before when the cold, wet air hit my laceration. Being a smart medic, I sealed my wound with my hands. By now, Vicki had hobbled around the ambulance to check me out. When I refused to move my hands, knowing that cold, wet air would hit my exposed nerve endings, Vicki did what any good medic would do and bandaged my hands to my head. When the first EMS crew showed up, I had to allow myself to be examined, that the crew wouldn't take my word, my assessment on what I believed my injuries were and weren't. Having my uniform cut away, getting backboarded, getting brought to a hospital and placed next to a whiny patient that I recognized because I had just transported her a week ago, and accepting I was helpless to refuse, that this really was what was best for me, and finally, that it was okay to be one of them. Over the last 4 decades, I have attended the funerals of 10 brothers and sister medics who had died by their own hand. I really love good bagpipe music, but I can go the rest of my life without hearing Amazing Grace one more time. How I wish I could have shared with each of them that it was okay to lower the armor, to accept the help of others, and that my mom's Christmas present was a true gift of love.